Hey guys, what's poppin'? Okay, so I'm doing this video because I did promise you guys like 3 days ago that I was gonna tell you about some urban legends since I have a huge book on them. Some of them are funny, some of them are weird. You know, I haven't read the full book, but I've read several from the beginning. I'm gonna read you 3 today. You know, I don't want to go too long into the book. And there's actually the first one I actually did memorize it, so I'm just gonna tell it to you, and then the other two I'm gonna read straight up from the book. So the first one is this woman brings her dog on an airplane, right? So they put the dog, the flight attendant puts the dog in the dog carrier, right? So when the woman sits, they start to notice that the dog is dead. So they start to freak out, and like in the back of their mind, they're thinking, oh my God, like we're gonna get sued. You know, so we're gonna have to do something like, we're gonna have to tell her, we put your dog on the wrong flight, but we will find the dog. So after the flight lands, they go to an animal shelter and they try to find a dog that looks exactly the same like the dog that died. You know, the same color, everything, a complete look-alike. So luckily they did find one. And so they took the dead dog out and they put the live one in the carrier. So they bring it to her and they drop it off, and then she looks at it and she goes, "That's not my dog." She goes, "My dog was dead." And she says, "I brought it home to bury it." So, and they just look at her and they don't even know what the hell to do. So, that's just good. Just start that with some crazy shit, like some funny, weird, crazy short stories. Okay, so this one, excuse my reading because I got new glasses on, and so I don't know how this is gonna go with these. And it's a little bit dark in here, but anyway, this second story is called The Poisoned Pussycat at the Party. Okay, a woman had just put on the final touch of her preparations for an elegant buffet dinner in her palatial home by adding as the centerpiece to the table a large baked salmon. The doorbell rang, and as the first guest arrived and the woman turned away away from the table for a moment, then hearing the maid answer the ring, she turns and took one more look at the buffet. To her horror, she saw that her cat had jumped up on the table and was nibbling at the salmon. She snatched the cat from the table, tossed it out the back door, and hurriedly put a lemon slice and some parsley over the bite marks. Then she composed herself and went out to the entry and greet her guests. The party was a great success, and everybody complimented her on the meal, the salmon in particular. But later, at the house got stuffy, the maid opened the back door and let in some air, and was horrified at what she saw. The maid tiptoed in and whispered in her boss's ear, "Your cat is lying dead out on the back porch." The hostess had no alternative but to admit to all of her guests that the cat had earlier eaten some of the salmon and was now dead, presumably from food poisoning. She even had no telephone. A few couples who had just departed the party early. The hostess and all of her guests rushed to a hospital to have their stomachs pumped. The morning after the disastrous dinner party, the neighbor came over to offer her apologies. She explained that during the party last night, she had accidentally backed her car over the cat. Killed it. I knew you were having a big dinner, and I just didn't want to spoil your good time, so I just left your cat's body on the back porch. So, all that shit for nothing, like, for real, and she scared the shit out of everybody, and like, she had to rat herself out and say that my cat ate some of the salmon. All y'all got poisoned. Okay? So, anyway. Okay, so on to the next one. This next story is called The Bug Under the Rug. Okay, so either this is the story or I might have to turn the page. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I'll just have to turn like a part of the page. Okay, because these are short stories. Okay, so as I said, this one is called The Bug Under the Rug. A friend of mine says a man and a wife enjoy travel more than anything. With the new welcome of Americans from the Soviet Union, they decided to visit Moscow. In their room at an old classic hotel not far from Red Square, she said, "I'm still nervous about all this. Are you sure this room isn't bugged?" "There's no reason why it should be," he said, "but I'll look around." He inspected the walls and flower vases. He didn't find a thing. But as he walked across the room, he noticed a lump beneath the carpet. He pulled it back and found a metal plate. Just to be sure, he took out the screws. They went to bed. "Did you sleep well, new comrades?" the desk clerk asked as they were checking out in the morning. "Just great," they said. "It's good to know this for Commissioner of Hotel Report," the clerk said. People's in room below yours had only bad things to say." "How's that? Chandelier fell on them at night." So they thought there was a bug in their room under the carpet. They thought it was a bug spying on them. They decided to take the screws out and the plate, and it happened to be a chandelier from the room downstairs, and they hurt the people that were downstairs. Because they're fucking idiots. Like, it must be like some devious people or something if they're worried about their room being bugged, for people to hear them and shit. So, okay, that's kind of, that was kind of stupid why they did that. But, okay, and as a bonus, I'll tell you one because I actually do remember it. Okay, there was this woman that was shopping, and so she ends up going to the store and she buys a magazine and a little pack of cookies. So she ends up stopping and going into a restaurant because she was feeling tired and she decided to go in and get a snack, like something to eat, something small and light to eat. So when she goes into the restaurant, she notices that all the tables are filled up, and there's just one guy sitting at a table by himself, and there's a chair next to him. So she does ask him if she could sit next to him if he would mind because there's no other chairs. He said sure, and he was reading a newspaper. So she sits down and she starts reading her magazine because the waitress hadn't come over yet. She starts to read her magazine and she starts to reach over and grab a cookie and start eating it. In the corner of her eye, she noticed that the man is also eating one of the cookies. So as she ignores the first one, but then as she eats the second one, she sees the man take another cookie and he's eating it. And so suddenly she starts to get angry because there's one left. So he decides to take it and he breaks it in half and he smiles at her and he gives her a half of it and he takes the other half. And so after he does that, he actually takes his newspaper, he stands up, and he just walks away out of the restaurant. So, even though she's angry and she felt like saying something to the guy, she just didn't bother. But so when she gets ready to leave, she says, I'm just gonna leave. She goes to put her magazine back in her bag. And guess what? She finds her little pack of cookies sealed that she bought. So little did she just find out that the whole time she was actually eating the man's cookies that he bought. And he was actually the one sharing his cookies with her. And she felt so embarrassed. So, because they ordered, they bought the same kind of cookies. So, dumbass, she was getting all pissy, thinking he was eating her cookies, meanwhile she was eating his the whole time. And he was nice enough to share them with her. He even broke the last one in half and gave her a piece of it, and then smiled at her and left. And she was just pissed the whole time. Before you do that, how could you forget that you kept your cookies and you put them in your bag and you never took them out? That's some crazy shit. But anyway, if you guys like these stories and you want me to do more, I'll do probably 3 or 4 at a time, maybe 5 as a bonus. So if you guys like hearing these stories, just give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, let me know if you want me to do a part 2. Until the book is finished, I'll continue doing them. So, just leave a comment. So, if you guys did like this video about the urban legends, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Anytime you want to be notified of a new video, hit that post notification bell down below in the corner. Till next time, you guys, God bless, love y'all, and peace.